Good evening and welcome to the Tewksbury Conservation Committee meeting of November 4th, 2020. This meeting is being held virtually due to the recent open meeting law policy set forth by the governor during the current state of emergency. The meeting will be held as virtual. To participate in the meeting, I'll repeat this number numerous times. It's 781-565-8134. Again, that's 781-565-8134. And I just heard from Mr. Sheehan, he can't get on, so I don't think he'll be joining us this evening. All right, first item on the agenda is minutes. I don't see any minutes in our packet, so Stefania, were they supposed to be?
No minutes.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the next item. Item A is a continued from October 21st, request for certificate of compliance, Tewksbury Village Condominium LLC, Poland Ave and Foster Lane, map 24, lot 25, DEP 305943. Is there anyone here for that?
No, they're looking to continue this to November 18th.
Okay.
So that will be C.
So I'll entertain a motion to continue the request for certificate of compliance, Tewksbury Village Condominium LLC, Poland Ave and Foster Lane, map 24, lot 25, DEP number 305943, to the November 18th, 2020 meeting. Can I have a motion to that effect? Can everybody hear me?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote? Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Are you muted?
I think you're muted.
No, now you're muted. Yep, unmuted.
Okay, I'm assuming we got an aye out of you? Okay. Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Okay, chair votes aye as well. Item B on the agenda is continued from 10/21/2020 bond release request, Tewksbury Village Condominium, LLC, Poland Ave and Foster Lane, map 24, lot 25, DEP 305943. Is there anyone here for that, or is that also being continued, Stefania? Hello?
Sorry, that's also being continued.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to continue bond release request, Tewksbury Village Condominium Association, LLC, Poland Ave and Foster Lane, map 24, lot 25, DEP 305943. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
And this is till November 18th also, I'm assuming. Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Still can't hear you.
Mr. Ronan, just give me the thumbs up and we'll call it an aye. How's that? All right, there we go. Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Okay, chair votes aye as well. Next on the agenda, item C, it's continued from 10/21/2020, request for certificate of compliance, Tewksbury Village Condominium LLC, 15 Robbie's Terrace Way, map 24, lot 78, DEP 3051074. Stefania, is this being continued also?
Correct.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to continue. Request for certificate of compliance, Tewksbury Village Condominium LLC, 15 Robbie Terrace Way, map 24, lot 78, DEP number 3051074. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote? Thumbs up. Okay. Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. All right. Next on the agenda, item B.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
On.
Okay. All right. You're just in time. We were ready to close. Never mind. Item D, it's a public hearing request for determination of applicability. Erin Wortman, 15A Durham Circle, map 82, lot 281. Is there anyone here for that? I knew I saw her on there earlier.
I'm here.
Okay, can you introduce yourself for the record? Name and address, please.
Sure. My name is Erin Wortman, WORTMAN, 15A Durham Circle, for the record.
Okay. Okay, the floor is yours.
Oh, okay, sure. So
Tell us
I,
what, tell,
yes, Chair.
tell us what you want to do.
Okay, great. We would like to construct a shed at the rear of the property. We are calling it Get My Car Back into the Garage project. We have lived there for 8.5 years, and snow blower, lawnmower, all the things, and we just need a spot to put it in. I submitted a plot plan as well as a definitive subdivision plan that delineates the NOI when the house was constructed 9 years ago. And I did, oh, bless you. I did, for the work description, it should read the shed is not within the 25-foot no disturb instead of not near. Obviously, it's near it, if that's why I had to submit something. And I do, I think that's it. Stefania came to my house today and we did a site visit. I didn't think we had to come to conservation, honestly. We filed a building permit. We started the foundation. The building department notified me that I had to go to conservation. We stopped all work at that time. I filed the request. I contacted abutters. I did the paper thing, and that's how I got here today. So I don't know, Chair, if there's anything I missed or if there are any questions. The reason it's where it is we wanted it in the rear of the house. We followed the grass. We have a large property, but a lot of it is conservation or wet. So what we did was we proposed it in the spot that was flat in the grass, in the rear of the property. So my awful PDF drawing depicts that. And I guess that's all I'll say, if that's okay.
Okay, Stefania, any issues?
Nope. So, like she said, I was out there today. They did start the foundation, but they haven't started anything else. I will say, the shed is definitely more than 20 feet from the wetlands, and it's likely 25 feet from the wetlands, but the wetland flags are no longer up, so I don't know for sure. It's close, but definitely 20 feet from the wetlands.
It's only 20 feet from the wetlands, not 25?
It could be 25. I didn't do a delineation when I was out there. I just kind of measured to the toe of slope and where the estimated wetland line could be. So I don't know for sure, but
So are we
close.
safe to assume that most of it is in the 50-foot no-build zone?
Yes, which is what triggered them to have to come to the Conservation Commission.
Okay, so in the no-build zone, this is 20 by 14, so that's 140, 280 square feet. It looks to me that on the plan here, that they have a lot more than 280 square feet within the 50-foot no-build zone. So would that constitute the 10%? I'm looking at the one with the green as being the 25-foot, the pink being the 50-foot.
Yeah, so there's a significant portion of 50-foot no build zone on the property.
Okay, so
I mean, it's definitely
within
way
the
less than than
okay.
the 10%.
All right, board members, any questions?
No questions.
Mr. Sheehan?
No, I have no questions.
And I think Mr. Ronan back, or did we lose him? Mr. Walsh, you have any questions?
Questions?
Okay, I have no questions other than the questions I just asked. All right, with people coming and going, I'm getting confused here. It doesn't take very much. All right. So we need a negative determination, I assume, Stefania, is that correct?
Yes, a negative determination would mean they don't have to file a notice of intent. So
Okay. All right.
yes.
I don't think for a shed they would have to anyways. All right. I'll entertain a motion for a negative determination of applicability for Aaron Wortman, 15A Durham Circle, map 82, lot 281. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, are you back? It doesn't look that way, and the chair votes aye as well. So that would be 4 and 1 abstain because he's not here. All right, thank you very much. Oh, wait a minute. Before we do that, this was a public hearing, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I got to open it up to the public before we're going to have to redo this. So, all right. The phone number is 781-565-8134. If there's anybody interested in commenting on the 15A Durham Circle, map 82, lot 281. Brian, let us know if we have any callers.
No calls at the moment, Mr. Chairman.
Let me know we were caught up too, please.
You should be all set.
Okay, since we're hearing no callers, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan? Hearing nothing, chair votes aye as well. I don't think we have to go through another motion for the negative thing since we've already approved it. Is that correct, Stefania?
Yeah, we've already made the determination.
And,
so.
okay. All right. Thank you very much, Aaron.
Thank you so much, Commission. I really appreciate it.
All righty.
One.
You too. Okay, next on the agenda is item E, a public hearing, notice of intent, Kelly Doherty, New England Power Company, J162/J162A, transmission line row, map 35, lot 13, DEP number pending. Is anybody here for that?
Good evening, Chair Holland. This is Allison Milliman from BSC Group on behalf of New England Power.
Well, since you don't have a DEP number, we will not make any action on tonight's, but you can present.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm trying to share my screen now. Can the commission see my screen?
Yes,
Okay,
I can.
thank you. So this was the notice of intent package that we put together for 2 soil borings on the J162 line project. I was before your commission this summer to request permission for the first 2 soil borings. Since I've been here, engineering has done some further design. They've determined that 2 additional borings will be required. They're at structures 5 and 8, and because they are within riverfront area and bordering vegetated wetland, I'm here to ask for permission under its own DEP number. Similar to my previous filings with the commission for soil borings, let's see, all impacts will be temporary and within the existing maintained right-of-way. This is the location of the 2 proposed borings. This is this Tewksbury substation off of Power Company Road. That's near structure 5. That's how they'll get there. And then this is structure 8. This is Main Street, and there's a parking lot here that's owned by Gold's Gym. New England Power has access rights. So they'll be coming in off that parking lot to cross over Tull Brook, which is shown here. They'll span that with matting, and then they'll place this temporary workspace setup. Each boring is about 4 to 6 inches in diameter. The impacts are all temporary, and they're necessary for engineering design. This is showing the location of structure 5 that's coming in off of Power Company Road over by the existing substations in that vicinity of the right-of-way. After the project is over, all the matting will be removed and the area will be allowed to revegetate back to pre-existing conditions. Are there
Okay.
any questions?
Board members, any questions?
I have no questions.
No questions.
No questions.
Stefania, any issues?
No issues, just one question. I'm assuming the answer is no, but I just want to make sure there will be no impacts to the bank, right? With the span that you have to do.
That's correct. So that's a New England Power requirement that they put stringers on the bank to span over that, so we won't have any damage.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and the chair has no questions other than you have to acquire the DEP number. We'll continue this. But Stefania, do you have a standard order of condition that we included for New England Power for the last 2 or 3 borings they did?
Yeah, so typically we've been requiring the same condition where a wetland scientist goes out and takes a look at the site once the construction mats are removed to determine if it has restored properly. If it hasn't, they'll take a look at it again. If it has, then it's all set and they'll give us the photographs and the report.
Okay, so we want to have that if they have the DEP number for
Yeah, I'll have that
for
ready.
next meeting. Have that ready, please. All right, this is a public hearing, and I gotta find the phone number again. Any interested parties that would like to call in and comment? It's the number is 781-565-8134. And we'll wait a couple minutes. Jason, if you can let me know if we get any calls.
No calls at the moment, Mr. Chairman.
Is
Okay,
my
just let me
audio
know.
working?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Whew.
Oh, he's
Sorry
back.
about that.
Still no calls, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I think we should be able to move on. Okay, can I have a motion to close the public hearing for?
We'll have to keep it open.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. We had to keep it open. A motion to continue the public hearing for Kelly Dory, New England Power Company, J162/J162A Transmission Line Row, map 35, lot 13, DEP number pending. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Should I recuse myself because I didn't
I
hear
think so.
any of
You
that?
you
Yes.
didn't hear any of it.
Yeah, I'm going to recuse myself from.
Okay,
this,
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right, thank you. Now we're on to item F.
Thank you. Good evening.
Request for certificate of compliance, New England Power Company Road, map 36, lot 2, DEP number 3051105. Is there anyone here for that?
I don't, they said they weren't sure if they were going to be able to make it, so I guess they did not. So if you take a look at the request, it was for soil borings that were done at a location. So I don't have any concerns. I'll have the commission take a look at it and see if they are satisfied with the pictures. It looks like everything has kind of bounced back up and the vegetation looks pretty good.
Now, did we have the condition that the wetland scientists go out there and monitor this?
Yes, so they did have that condition. And they took a look at it twice. So once when the mats were removed immediately, and then another time a little bit after that, I believe in October. And they provided those pictures to us.
Okay, and the picture's satisfactory?
Yeah, if you take a look at them, it looks pretty good. I mean, the vegetation looks like it's coming back nicely.
Okay, so I don't have an issue with issuing the certificate of compliance. Board members, any questions?
I'm looking at the pictures now, Mr. Chairman. It looks good to me.
Okay,
No questions.
No question.
No questions.
okay, and I have no questions. So this is not a public hearing. So I entertain a motion to approve the request for certificate of compliance for New England Power Company Road, map 36, lot 2, DEP number 3051105. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote? Chair votes aye as well. Okay, next item on the agenda is request for certificate of compliance. New Horizons Realty Group, 1201 Main Street, map 60, lot 39, DEP number 305997. Is there anyone here for that?
They requested to continue to November 18th.
Okay. With that being said, I'll entertain a motion to continue to November 18th. Was it?
Yes.
November 18th meeting. New Horizons Realty Group LLC, 1201 Main Street, map 60, lot 39, DEP number 305997. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote? Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Sorry, I said aye.
Okay. Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Okay. Now what's next? Requests, okay. Approval of the 2021 conservation meeting schedule. Has everybody had a chance to view it?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Any issues?
No, I have no problems.
Looks good to me.
No issues.
No issues.
Okay, Stefania, I just have one question on this. None of those Wednesday meetings interfere with town meeting, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that was my only concern. I don't want to have a meeting when they have town meeting. I don't have any problems. Do you need a motion, Stefania?
Yeah, we should approve it just to do it.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2021 Conservation Commission meeting schedule. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. I keep messing up. Oh, who's here and who's not here? Somebody's gone, somebody's back. Yeah. All right. Next on the agenda is Wetlands Protection Fund reimbursement requests for Stefania. And that is for 25 Lodge.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, you know my feelings on this.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, don't pay. I mean, never mind. All right. Can I have a motion to approve $25 for reimbursement from the MACC Fall Conference class?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Now, I don't have a copy of the new agenda in front of me, but we do have something for Stefan. If you could read that last item, because I don't have the copy of the new agenda.
Yeah, so it's emergency certification request, Patton Green
Mhm.
condominiums, 72 to 76 Quail Run. And I believe that the consultant is here.
Okay. Floor is his. Can you introduce yourself for the record?
Thanks, Mr. President. Mike Igo with Aquis Consultants of Andover, Mass. The owner and the management group hired us to review the condition of the wall along Strongwater Brook behind one of the condominium units there. So the issue is that it's within 25 feet of Strongwater Brook. And in our opinion, in our engineering opinion, we reviewed it. We believe that the wall is basically at a balancing point right now, or it's on the verge of imminent failure, which would fail towards Strongwater Brook and collapse the modular block wall that's there. What we were requesting for the Conservation Commission is to be able to give us an emergency certificate to perform all work on the low side of the wall, within 10 feet of the low side of the wall, giving us about 10 to 15 feet to the Strongwater Brook bank to make emergency repairs to demo the existing wall and then replace it with a new block wall in its place that'll be properly constructed with proper drainage and proper angles and proper slope for the wall itself. So we proposed as conditions of the emergency certificate to put erosion and sediment control within 10 feet from the bottom of the on the bottom of the wall on the low side before any construction takes place. All the equipment that we're proposing to use is small equipment on the low side. Wherever it's possible, we will hand dig where it's feasible, but there will be some small machinery that's going to be required on the low side. We just view it as an opportunity to take care of this problem now before the wall actually does fall over, and at some point it will towards the brook. To be fair, I don't know when that's going to happen. What I can observe and what I do see is that the wall typically is sloped backwards against the slope to hold back the slope. We're at a point right now with the modular block wall system where it's actually plumb. So the wall is moving towards the brook and it's failing by rotation over the base. So it's hard to say if it'll be, a week from now, a month from now, or a year from now. I mean, I can't say definitively what it is, but it is definitely failing. It's in the process of failing. So we're asking the commission to grant an emergency certificate with the conditions that we've outlined to take care of it now, rather than when an issue does happen down the road and blocks fall into the stream, cause more damage than what we can prevent right now.
Okay, Stefania?
Yeah, I have a lot of comments.
I
this.
was actually out there today.
Okay, if you want to start then.
Is it the entire wall that you're replacing, or just a portion of it?
No, it would be the entire wall. The entire wall is starting to rotate on its base. Some areas are better than others. What we know from the upper wall that was demolished with permission of the Conservation Commission, we know that wall doesn't have proper drainage behind it, and we don't believe it was properly constructed. Similar to this wall, we believe that the entire length of the wall and the depth of the wall is not properly constructed, or we believe it's not, based on what we've seen from the demo upper wall. We also believe that it's actually the stone block wall, the modular block wall, is actually a veneer for a railroad tie wall. So there's a lot of unknowns, but the intent is to replace the entire wall along this line.
Okay. All right, you can go ahead, Stefania, because I actually think you really need a notice of intent, because if it was neglect and the wall was failing because of neglect, I don't think an emergency. So I think a notice of intent would be appropriate. I'll let Stefania go and let her comments.
Yeah. So, like I said, I have a lot of comments, and I would agree with that. I will say I was out at the property July 30th and met with the contractor. And at that time, we had a discussion about filing a notice of intent. So, I mean, no one had tried to file a notice of intent in 3 months, and now it's being requested that the work is done with an emergency. I just think there was a lot of time to prepare and to file the notice of intent from the first time that this was brought to my attention. So emergency certifications are not to prevent emergencies that might happen. They're to deal with emergencies that need to be dealt with right away and within 30 days. So I'm reading through this packet. It says that work could be done in December. That's already more than 30 days. You could attempt to file a notice of intent. You could at least start the process in the meantime. If this is an emergency and if it's approved as an emergency, it needs to be done right away. You cannot wait until December. So there's typically an agency of the Commonwealth that is requiring and ordering the work to be done. In this case, you're not really saying who that agency is. So that's something that needs to be in the request, and it's not here. So, I mean, if this is something the commission thinks should be done, I think there needs to be a lot of conditions, a lot more than they specified in this request. There needs to be a wetland scientist out there monitoring everything that's going on. This is floodplain, this is riverfront. There's a lot of wetland impacts associated with this project. We need to have that quantified. We need to know exactly what needs to be restored once the project's done. I just don't think this is meant for an emergency certification. If we want to start by fixing what can be fixed so that you have time to file, we could try that, but I don't think the whole wall can be replaced with this emergency certification.
I tend to agree with you. I think that like you stated, that emergency certification is something that's already happened. This has not happened. So I'm going to open it up to the board members and get their opinion on it. Mr. Sheehan?
It looks pretty tough to me in one sense. It's definitely got to be done, but whatever you think.
Mr. Ronan?
So I'm interested in the suspected railroad tie wall. We had, I forget exactly who, but cleaning up railroad matter in Tewksbury. If there is a railroad in there, or parts of a railroad, would that require additional engineers to be testing the soil to see if there's any, I think arsenic was the concern for the other site.
Sorry, you're talking about an actual railroad, like or I mean, what we're talking about is not necessarily. I mean, it's, and I apologize for the terminology. These are really just 4x4, 6x6 wood soldier pile lagging walls. Basically, they're not actual old reused railroad ties from a real railroad. So,
it's all right. So
basically they're landscape walls with presumably pressure treated wood.
but they're called railroad tie wall.
That's what I mean in colloquial terms or jargon, landscape jargon. Yes. So I apologize. To clarify further, meaning the railroad ties, that they're not literal railroad ties, and there isn't literally a railroad, that it's just 4x4 or 6x6
Yeah, so
pieces of lumber tied together, right?
All right. But I guess my question was based on there's suspected stuff in the soil that if it's there, would additional testing have to be done to make sure that the soil is, okay? And if we were to ratify an emergency condition, would that be part of it? And would that not be a part of it in a normal notice of intent? I guess my question is more toward, directed towards Ms. Gallo. I'm just not quite sure what would have to, additional things would have to do for an emergency certification.
So with the soil, I mean, I know the project that you're talking about, they did a site assessment out there, and so they've found traces of the arsenic, and that's why they had to go in and do a bigger assessment and then remove the soil. So I guess where they're not doing an assessment of the soil, we don't know.
And that it's not literal railroad tie.
Yeah, and that's yes. I guess yeah.
So instead of calling it a railroad tie wall, we'll call it a 4x4 wood wall.
Yeah, I saw it. It says railroad tie, so I assume there was something in there.
No, and that's on me to not clarify further. So that, it's a 4x4 or 6x6 lumber landscape wall.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. No. My apologies.
Mr. McMullen, anything?
Yeah, I would agree with Ms. Gallo that if she had spoken with the contractor back in July and there's been no movement on a notice of intent, I don't really see how the situation as it is now qualifies as an emergency. That's pretty much my only stance on the matter.
Okay, Mr. Walsh.
I agree that NOIs need it. As stated in the letter, it says it could fail anywhere between 30 days and 365 days. So,
okay. All right. Now I have a question for the gentleman. Is there a safety hazard out there right now if people are walking around the wall?
I mean, there is.
If so,
yep.
I was out there today. How come there's no yellow tape up where don't go down there?
It's a good question. It's a fair question. I don't have the answer to that. I don't own the property. I've been asked to provide an engineering judgment on the state of the wall. Do I think that, put it this way, do I think that if there were additional live loads on the top of the wall that could impact the wall? I mean, my answer would be yes, to the extent of which, how much further are live loads, whether it's foot traffic or which would primarily be the only traffic there for foot traffic. I would say that it would impact it. I think that where we're at right now is it is understood that what the definition of an emergency can be debated, but our point is that the wall is tipped over, it's overplumbed to the point where, again, like I said, and full disclosure, I don't know when it will fail. What we do know is that it's failing. It could fail next week. It could fail a month from now. And I understand that there is gray area, or there's a certain interpretation for the ruling to say that it would only be an emergency if the wall completely toppled over into the brook. But again, like we stated in the letter, that to put together a notice of intent, which if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. But if there's a way from our perspective to at least head this off at the pass before damage actually does occur to the wetlands into the stream that, would be looking for, the grace of the Conservation Commission to grant that. So I think where we're at right now, is it failing? Yes. I can't definitively say when. I know that it's fair to say that it will accelerate over the coming days and months and years, but I can't say when. So, I mean, to your point, this is more of a preventative measure rather than, a literal strict emergency. But I guess where we're at right now is that we feel that something will happen fairly quickly, in the near future, where rocks or stone blocks, concrete blocks may start falling off the wall. And what we're trying to do is just hit that off at the pass before actual damage occurs and a literal definition of emergency happens at this point.
Okay. Well, I believe that you need to. You've had the 3 months since Stefania was out there last, and I really believe you need to pull a notice of intent or file a notice of intent. So, board members, would anybody have anything else?
Well, one more comment. I would clean up the language with the railroad ties in your plan. It does kind of suggest you have some type of treated material, whether it's creosote or whatever, in the ground near a wetland. If that is not the case, you should correct it in your submittal.
Okay. I am going to make the motion not to approve the emergency certification and that the applicant has to file for a notice of intent. That's my motion.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
You're muted.
Okay. Mr. McMullen, how do you vote? Okay, he's Mr. McMullen?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. All right, sir. I think that's where we left it off, is that you have to file a notice of intent.
Okay, I will pray the wall does not fall down in the next 3 months, 2 months. That. So,
okay. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much, everybody.
All right. Thanks. All right. Next item on the agenda.
That was the last one.
Oh, okay. We already do. Okay, that wasn't. Okay. Any old business? No old business. Any new business?
Nope.
Okay. Administrators reports.
I don't have anything.
I would like to have an update on how we're making out with the new school, and if they're complying with they were supposed to. You're supposed to be getting a report once a month.
Yeah. I can send you the reports. So I was just actually out there last week. They were installing the culvert under the new road going to the practice field, and everything looks really good. VHB's been going out there once a month. They were out there for the installation of the culvert. So I don't have any concerns. Things are kind of moving along quickly, and there's no real issues out there. But I can definitely forward you. Do you want the most recent reports?
Well, I just want to make sure we're getting the reports and that they're satisfactory. I don't want to
Yeah.
overlook something and say, well, they're not complying with what we told them to do.
Yeah, they're really good to work with. So
Okay, well, that's all I really wanted to know.
mhm.
Mr. McMullen, any updates from the housing committee meeting? Did you attend?
No, I was away. So I
Okay.
didn't.
All right, and I have nothing else, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Okay, Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good
Thank
evening.
you.
Thank you.